Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Harrisonburg. Let's start our meeting as we start every meeting with the recitation of the four-way test. Please join me in the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Today's song is by Noah Yoder singing God Bless America. Bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Now let's turn to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today's invocation is by Paul Lehman. Amen. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Today, Sam Spiker has a guest. Sam, would you introduce your guest? Yeah, please, if you want.
Okay, so I wasn't expecting a full crowd of people that I was going to be in front of, but what I will say is I love Jesus with all my heart. I have been with Steve Wingfield for 20 years, which has been an amazing journey. And I'm also an ordained minister, and I help to pastor a new Start Church of the Nazarene in Elton. It is a campus of the Harrisonburg campus, Church of the Nazarene. So I'm not quite sure what inspired Sam, except that it would be the fact that my husband tells me that it's in my blood, that I love Jesus, and it's all the time, 24/7. It never stops.
Well, thank you, Terry. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Harrisonburg. Sam, thank you for inviting her. A couple of family of Rotary announcements. As many of you have seen, Ash Heatwell's mother, Susan, passed away last week from a long battle with breast cancer. She was most recently in hospice. Today, starting at 1 p.m., the service of life is at Harrisonburg Mennonite. So you're excused if you need to leave a little early to attend that. Friends and family are welcome to attend. Any other family of Rotary announcements? Okay, couple of regular announcements. Board nominations, we are moving to May 2nd. Some of them were supposed to start today, but we want to give our nominees a little bit more time. We are still accepting nominations. So if you or your table mates want to nominate you, I will accept them shouted from the audience right now. All right, otherwise get in touch with me later on. May 9th is our annual Ethics Awards program at Festival at JMU. Please sign up to be a table host either online. Michael has sent out that online form last week, or he also has a sign-up sheet today. So as you're leaving, if you want to get in touch with him to sign up, please do so. The other area clubs and myself met last week and put our proposal for the Strawberry Festival and Valley Fest proceeds. All of our boards have now approved that. We will be, for this year, sending all of our proceeds as family and children scholarships for our local child care centers as a Harrisonburg Rockingham Rotary scholarship. So as you're talking with folks, please let them know of that really great cause. Any further announcements? Steve. Okay, Steve is our presenter next week, so listen up. Yeah. Any others? Okay, I will now welcome Wayne Whitmer to introduce our speaker today.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. This will be the shortest introduction that you've had to listen to me do. Sometimes things just kind of work out. As we were continuing to work at our Rotary board nomination process, we thought, well, we want to give it a little more time. And Alan Shelton, who's a Rotarian, said, hey, we have a new director for the Massanutten Regional Public Library. And we're trying, her board is trying to get the community introduced to her. And we, of course, want to learn more about what's going on with the library. So it was perfect. So I said on Thursday, how about Monday? So it worked out really well for all of us. Rochelle Carr is our new director of the Massanutten Regional Public Library. I've asked her to almost do a little mini thumbnail so we can learn about her. And so welcome, Rochelle.
Can you all hear me okay? Maybe I'll put that there. Right, so often I get asked why Massanutten or why this area did I choose to come, because I'm from California. And there's a very, I think, interesting reason why this was an area that I was interested in. There is an old family story about a family member, Elkanah Garber. I am one of the Garber clan, and apparently he shot a man that was stealing from his smokehouse. And then he had to skedaddle out of the area and he went to Missouri. Well, of course, I thought that was really cool as a kid. So I wanted to know a little bit more about him. And that led me into a lot of genealogy research in the Garber family. So I have been able to sort of become familiar with Rockingham County, with Bridgewater, Scott and Powell, the Powell area, and Scott County. They're not even places anymore. They were where they used to live back in the 1800s. But it's always been sort of a mythical land for me, an area where all this exciting stuff happened. They were Church of the Brethren and very strong members of Church of the Brethren, and a lot of them are known as horseback pastors. So I was actually just looking on a job list for a position that we had open in California. And I wasn't really looking to move because I was, busy with my job when this position opened up. Massanutten Regional Library with Rockingham County, Page County, and Harrisonburg. Well, Rockingham County just lit me up. I couldn't believe this position was available. So I just threw my hat in the ring. I just felt it's now or never. I'm gonna see if I can get this position. Some of the reasons why I was thinking about leaving Reading was because of the fires, quite frankly. I'd been evacuated twice. A lot of my staff had been evacuated. It's become more and more of a serious issue that actually affects you. I didn't know if this summer is going to be worse. Each summer seems to be worse than the last. I just didn't see myself, staying there. I'm an empty nester. I don't have kids at home anymore. So this position, like the stars were aligned, and it just seemed like this was where I needed to be. So I applied for this position, and luckily enough, I was very thankful to be able to get this position. Anyway, in addition to that, this library is very exciting. They have an outward heart. They really think about the community and the programs that they do. And also next year, Massanutten is going to be celebrating 95 years in serving this community, which I think is really exciting. So with that being said, that's my introduction. I'm going to go ahead and begin. Although I don't think I have a clicker. Could you get that clicker for me? I left it on the table. Thank you. Okay, so I'll be putting my glasses on and off a couple of times during my presentation. Please forgive me for that. So I'd like to start with a brief history of the library and how it became the Massanutten Regional Library, along with some of our programs and services. In the first part, I'm going to sort of slide through. A lot of it are going to be photos. Just sort of giving us sort of a history, a photo history of our, there, thank you, of our background. So that part will go a little bit faster, and then I'll slow down just a bit so that we can talk a little bit about some of our programs and resources. So as I said, in November, we will be celebrating 95 years of library service to the community of Rockingham, Rockingham County, Page County, and the city of Harrisonburg. Next. The original library was founded by members of the Kiwanis Club in 1928, and the library was located on the corner of South Main and Bruce. The 1940s saw an expanded growth with a bookmobile serving the Rockingham and Page counties. You're going to have to do each one of them. In 1947, Page County, along with Rockingham and Harrisonburg, joined forces to become the Rockingham Regional Library System. In the 50s, Rockingham Public Library moved into the new building on Newman Avenue. And in 1965, the Elkton's Women's Club founded the Elkton Community Library, which was in the Jennings House in Elkton. And in 1972, the Shenandoah Women's Club founded the Shenandoah Community Library. And in 75, the Village Library opened its doors to serve the Broadway community and was run by volunteers for over 25 years. In 1995, North River opened, serving the community of Bridgewater, another area where my family are from as well. Bridgewater is exciting. So in 2000, the library in Harrisonburg was renovated and expanded. That's when the name changed from Rockingham to Massanutten Regional Library. That same year, Grotto's branch opened in the Grotto's Town Hall. In 2013, the Village Library moved into its current location on North Main Street in Broadway. And just so you know, that was a very, that volunteer community has been a huge help in that library even now. So when they moved into the new library, it was all done by volunteers. So you saw high school students, senior citizens, moms, dads, all putting their heart into making that library beautiful as it is now. If you have a chance to go see it, it's a very, all of them have their own flavor, but I really like that library. Massanutten Regional Library is a nonprofit library that serves Rockingham and Page counties as well as Harrisonburg. Just to pause quickly, just to let you know how we're funded. We are funded by the counties of Rockingham and Page County as well as Harrisonburg. And then we have matching funds from the state that we receive. We're also lucky enough to receive bequests, donations from our very generous community. So I'd like to give you an overview of some of our services and online resources. So I'll start with prescription for reading. Now this one will be of interest to you guys because this was launched by all 5 Rotary clubs and by a district grant. Just to let you know a little bit about what prescription reading is, this is a place where families, when they go into their pediatrics office, family medical office, this is where you're going to be able to get books for your family and you take them home. So we provide books to the local doctor's offices so that families can take some of their very first books home for their children. And it's ongoing. The grant has shrunk to a smaller amount, but we've continued to offer that service within the funds that we have. Every summer, we work to combat summer reading loss. We call that summer slide with our summer reading programs and incentives at all of our branches. So you'll see an uptick in programs and events to try to make it exciting for kids to come in. They get prizes. So what we really want to do is couple reading with exciting and fun things to do so that we can lure them in and give them books. The Massanutten Regional Library, if I ever say MRL, that's what I'm talking about. We have student access cards, and this gives students in Rockingham, Page County, and Harrisonburg access to online resources for research and study aids. So we have some really strong, powerful databases like homework help that will help students with their homework. They can actually, in some aspects, I'm not sure if it's part of ours, I'll double check, but you can send in your essay to a subject specialist educator who will review your essays and send it back to you with tips and feedback on how to improve your essay. It's really, really a good program for students that might be struggling, and that some students just don't want to go in to their classrooms. They prefer to do things on their own, and things that are online are definitely safer for students. They just feel they can sort of, there's an anonymous aspect to it that sometimes it's a little bit more appreciated by students. So it's very, very popular. Right, so our digital collection, we are ongoing, this digital collection is ongoing. So we have a collection of photographs, handwritten documents, letters, family histories, and we've been digitizing them. This is a digital collection that we've been working on. We actually have an intern from JMU that's been working with us as well to digitize some of our photographs. And these are accessible from our website. So if you go to our website, I don't have the link up on here, you would just go and look and see where our collections is. You click on it, it's a drop down, and you hit digital collections, and that's where you're going to find these. It's only about 2 clicks in. So our new website is very shallow and broad compared to the deep dive of an old website. So it's much easier and fewer clicks to get to some of our resources. And we're always upgrading our website to make it easier and more user-friendly. So as part of our service, we offer interlibrary loan. And if we don't have a book, we will try to get it from another library. If that doesn't work, then we'll purchase the book. We have a section on our website that you can request purchase of a book, and we will most likely purchase the book. So it's an easy way to get the book that we don't have. If we can't get it from borrowing it, then we're most likely going to purchase it. There are some parameters that we have. We can't afford $1,000 book. We actually have a limit on the amount that we can spend, but it usually will serve the purposes for 95% of the books that you're looking for. So if you're interested in what's going on in our library, you can sign up for our newsletter. This will keep you informed and up to date on all the happenings at our various libraries. Again, that's a very simple thing to do. It's just about 2 clicks in, and you'll be able to sign up for our newsletter. It's just an email, and then you're getting our weekly newsletter. Just for example, some of the things that we just did over the last couple of days. On Thursday night, we had our Honored Teachers program. It was an essay contest, elementary, junior high, and high school. We had runners up and winners. So we had amazing essays about teachers that have gone above and beyond. And the winning teacher received a $1,000 check. So it was a very fun and heartwarming event on Thursday evening. And then on Friday, we partnered with our friends over at Brothers Brewing, and we had Cask for a Cause. And our cask was called Mr. Libation. Again, it's MRL, play on that. We went over there a week before, and we did a strawberry infused ale, if you will, which sold out almost immediately. So by the time I got there in the afternoon, the ale was sold out, but they had an amazing variety of other things to try out. They also had a bidding on the poster, because there's always a poster that goes with it. So that was a lot of fun. And then the following Saturday, the next day, we had our Rocktown Authors Festival, which happened at our library in the downtown Massanutten branch. And that was a very successful and always is event. So if you're interested in writing or want to be a writer, this will come up again next year. It gives you different areas of interest if you're a writer, whether you want to be a writer for an adult audience or a youth audience or a children's writer. We have the authors there to give you firsthand information on how to perfect your craft and how to get published. So it's a very, very good program. So our reference librarians Okay, can give you one-on-one help if you are diving into an area of research and you need some help. You can book them by the hour. They are available for whatever it is you're looking at. Maybe you're interested in genealogy, you don't know how to get started. You're not sure how to find your tax forms. They can help you find that information. If you're looking to patent something, you're in business. There's nothing that they won't help you. They obviously will not give you tax advice. They will not give you legal advice, but they'll take you to the areas where you can find that information or anything else you might be interested in. They're yours for whatever you need them for, and it's a really, really valuable resource. They also will do some research for you if you want to just leave them alone and have them do something. They do have a small fee that they charge for that, but not when you're booking a librarian for time. And as you can see, those are up there. Thank you. So some of our popular resources that are available online, you can access with a library card. These are quite valuable databases. I hate to use that word, but online resources. Most of them are available from your home computer. You do need to sign up, some of them, for an access code, and that's just sending an email saying, I need an access code. They send you an email back, here's your code. You're never even talking to somebody on the phone, and then off you go to do research. So you can make use of, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on some of these from your pajamas at midnight if you want to do some research and you can't sleep. You can get onto, I like to call it our 24/7 library. So we do have an online library ready to go. Another thing you can do from home is if you want to check out a book, you don't have time to go into the library, go through the stacks and try to find something, you can just tool through our online catalog, put it on hold, and then we'll pull it for you. We'll put it on the shelf, on our hold shelf. You just come in, go to our front desk, they'll just give you your book and out you go. So you can spend as much time in the library if you'd like, or as little time as you like in the library. That's fine too. So some examples of really valuable databases are Consumer Reports and Statista. So obviously we have product reviews and consumer reports if you're interested in purchasing anything, or if you're trying to figure out whether you got a good deal or not, you can go on to Consumer Reports. You can also go on to Statista. Now, Statista is a little bit more data driven. I love data. Data is exciting to me because it draws a picture. But there are so many things that you can do for your business, private business, interests. If you're a hobbyist, when you're just looking at data and you're interested in things, you can definitely take a look at our Statista and just have some fun with that. So newspapers are a really exciting, I think, part of the library. Now, you may not know this, or maybe you do, but when a newspaper comes into being, it's a private enterprise. So Mr. Jones is going to own the Dispatch newspaper. So say he retires and he sells his newspaper, or the building burns down, or he just retires and that building is no longer there. Those newspapers are gone. So you can't access them. So what do you do? How do you access that building who were only producing paper items? Well, in every little town all across the United States, your local library has taken one of those newspapers every single day. So over time, we would have shelves and shelves and shelves and shelves of the local newspapers. So Mr. Jones goes out of business, and then somebody else opens a new one, and it's called something different. It's got a new run. We take those too. So every single one of these little newspapers are going to be living in the library. Well, over time, you can't hold all the newspapers that have been produced. So we started digitizing them. So there's two ways that you can access newspapers. We have Daily News Record, and you can see some of the different newspaper titles, but that's an online access. So you're only going to go back to 1983 or 2010. Well, what about all those newspapers I was talking about? Well, those are on microfilm. So we go back to 1700s, 1820, Civil War. You can go back as far as they have a newspaper in your area. We have taken that newspaper and now we've digitized them. I had somebody ask me at one of my Rotaries if they have a search feature for the microfilm. Well, you don't. You're doing some scrolling. And so that being said, that can be a little bit daunting, but when you kind of know where you're going or what you're looking for, then you can really narrow it down to what you're looking for. But I tell you, the newspaper reporters back in the earlier years were really eloquent in how they would write their articles. So if you wanted to find something, it wasn't just who, what, when, where, why. They would give you all kinds of detailed, elaborate information. And that's what I want to find out about my great-grandfather Elkanah Garber, because it's not in the census data. It's not in the Civil War rolls. It's not in the different kinds of documents that have been digitized. I'm looking for what happened. And so I know this had to have been a great newspaper article. I'm assuming he didn't kill the guy, because then it would be a whole different story, because he'd be wanted and he wasn't. But I'm sure that there's a great juicy story just waiting for me to find it. And that was one of the reasons why I was going to come over just on a long visit, so I could find the different libraries and go into their microfilm so I can do some research on my own family stories. So that is where you're going to get a lot of the richness of your history. It's kind of, your mind is a little staggered when you think about how far back these digitized records go. So I'm a little excited about that. Sorry, but that's one of my area of excitement. Okay, so we also have Ancestry and Heritage Quest. Now these are also for pay. You have to pay for them if you are a non-library user, but with a library card, they're free. We pay for the subscription because we're out of COVID. During the COVID years, Ancestry allowed our patrons to use our database from home. But they generally would never do that because they're going to lose money that way. They sell to individuals. So for us to take a subscription and then offer it to other people would be kind of encroaching on their possible customers. But during COVID, they allowed us to offer that for all of our patrons at home. Well, January of 2022, that went away. So you go into the library and access your information. Although I tried it at home the other day and I was able to get in. So I'm not quite sure if maybe they haven't caught up to us or not. Heritage Quest, though, you can access from home, and it's also owned by Ancestry. So you really can get almost as good information from census records and obituaries as you can from Ancestry. And it's just set up, especially if you set up your own login, you can set up your own family history, and other people can join in and add into your family tree so that you're putting it out there and getting other people, oh, that's my family, and I can add to it. So you can connect a lot of lines that way. It's very, very fun and interesting. So another thing that we have, which might seem sort of after I'm talking about data, statistics, Ancestry, and then we talk about Creative Bug, crafting. But, you know, again, when we were in COVID, we had a lot of people that were shut in and couldn't get out. They missed their groups, their social groups that they could be involved in, their knitting, crocheting, quilting, getting to know other people in the community. It was really difficult when you're stuck at home to find a creative outlet. So this is actually a really important area for people to have access to if they are of a more artistic bent. So this is something that a lot of people have really, really enjoyed. There's 1,000 different video classes. So just imagine the kinds of things that you could find to do and learn. So without having someone that you can learn from, we were offering Creative Bug, and it continues to be very popular. So how do you get access to all these wonderful things? All you need is a library card. And getting a library card is a very simple, very short little form that you fill out at the library, and you're done. You get a library card at that moment, and you have access to all of our resources from home or when you come in. All of our programs that we offer are for free. You don't have to have a library card to come to any of our programs that we offer at any of our branches. We also have library computer access. So if you come into the library, we have computers available. We have staff that will help you get on if you're not familiar, if you're not a computer type of person. We have very friendly staff that can help you get on. We help people from how to get an email account to how do I get onto eBay. I mean, it's up to you what you need help with, and that's not booking a librarian. That's just regular staff waiting to help you, and that's going to be upstairs in our information. It's called Reference, but we're changing it to Adult Services. And they're very friendly. They have years of experience and can pretty much anticipate what your question is going to be anyway, because we get a lot of similar questions coming in. So with that said, that completes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Yes. Yes.
Just wondering the traffic in all of your libraries. What's the trend over the last 5 to 10 years? More people going to the library, less? Is that pandemic different or?
During the pandemic, all libraries across the United States saw a huge dip in their foot traffic in the library. However, the digital library, our digital offerings went way through the roof. So a lot of our libraries, we would move some of our collection budget into our online collection budget. But currently our, it's called Overdrive, and it's like Audible. If anybody has Audible, an online book, we have digital online books so that you can either read on your Kindle or you can listen to an audio. So I'm looking to find a way of creating a consortium of other libraries so we can increase our collection. I was lucky enough to come from a library in Northern California where we had a consortium called NorthNet, and we were able to share resources, and we had a much, much larger collection of digital books. So I'm working to enlarge that here. We are seeing foot traffic coming back, but across the board, we saw, we shut the doors for a few months for a lot of our libraries, and then a lot of families just didn't come into the library because we wouldn't offer in-person programming. We would offer something called a kit. So they would take the kit, a literacy-based kit. They would go home, have fun with the kids, have a craft, and then bring it back or keep it. But that model has been changing, and thank goodness, this week we're very, very conscious of the CDC guidelines. We're constantly following. However that changes, we're right alongside that. So we've been having schools come in for school visits. We've had parent, teacher, library open house at our library. We're seeing more and more programming for the summer in person. So basically, we're going back to normal. So it'll be interesting to see. You guys need to come in the library so we can count you as foot traffic when you come in the library. So you can help us out with that. But it's been a trend across the United States.
Do you work with Dolly Parton?
Valley Parking.
Yeah, she's big into books.
Oh,
for
Dolly
kids.
Parton,
Yeah.
Imaginarium. Yes, absolutely. We when I came in, I had a talk with Revlon over the foundation, and the foundation has taken on the Imaginarium book setup, which I was like, well, why didn't we do that? They are doing it, which I'm so thankful for. But we are going to be a location for signing up for those books. So we're partnering with them, but we don't have the heavy lift of the financial burden of that. The foundation has taken that on, the community foundation. Good questions, thank you. So if there aren't any more questions, I thank you for your time. I appreciate the offer for me to come and speak with you.